I spoke in the last video about the importance of building a mindset of a dominator and how you can use sports to fuel that ambition. Well, in this video, I'm going to go deeper on that topic and expand on the many different avenues you can use to fuel that ambition. A lot of us have had many different experiences, we have many different desires and insecurities that provide potential sources of energy for us. For me, myself, I'm an extrovert, right? I'm very extroverted and I love social experiences. But my issue is that I've never gotten to really like deplete my social battery, let's say. Like I've never had a day where I've just done all the social things. I'm just like, I just want to get home and sleep because I've fulfilled everything I want to fulfill socially. And I know that's a bit crazy to people who are introverts, but for me, I'm just like that. Like I can talk for days, right? And I don't usually get to speak like I enjoy quality conversations with people I'm interested in. I feel like I don't get enough of that. And it's a source of frustration for me, right? Like I said in a couple of videos ago, I've moved to a new city. I'm trying to build myself a new social life and everything, but I'm very frustrated because it's moving slowly, right? Like it's not going as fast as I'd like it to be. And that's a massive source of potential energy for me. Like it's very frustrating, but what I'm doing with that is that I'm going to redirect that into building my social life, right? Like for me, I've detailed out exactly what I want in my social life, right? I want to have my close group of like-minded Christian guys on self-improvement, right? Like my boys that I go through life with. We literally go through life together. Like we learn things about life together and everything, and we build together, we grow together. I want to build that group. Right, that's one thing. I want to meet like my future wife, just start building that, and then in a couple of years, get married, start a family and stuff. There's like the two main things. Then obviously like their families and stuff, and we do like social activities and stuff. That's the core of what I want to do, right? In terms of building my social life, and now I have to think of a plan to build that. So now I'm gonna think to myself, where am I gonna meet these types of people, right? So maybe at the gym. I'm very hopeful about church, so I'm at church and I'm going to be going to all the connect groups. I'm going to try to go to all the events and whatever it is. Work, I'm also trying to go to all the events I can there, but I'm not so hopeful there because I don't know, maybe you'll find one or two guys who are like just like this, and that's already like you're sorted. So I'm just trying to be everywhere. I'm trying my best to show up to all the events I can, and that's one way I'm redirecting my pent up energy or my frustration. Like that's a source of energy, of motivation that I'm redirecting, right? And the second option that people have, a second avenue that people have, is the desire for love, right? For young guys, I think that's probably the number one desire that you all have. Like you think about all the people flip. Excuse me, guys, I'm sick. I'm trying to push through this, okay? You think about all the young guys who have like breakups, right? They have breakups and then they go and they hit the gym, right? Guys who are usually like happily in relationships and everything, you don't usually see them in the gym. It's just they're just not as big on self-improvement, right? And that's just how it works. And it's almost like a bit of a stigma, right? To be like, oh, I'm going to the gym so I can be attractive, so I can be attractive for girls. And guys make fun of guys for that, and I think it's a bit ridiculous because if a guy gets into the gym because of his desire to attract women, right? I remember Hamza said that was his desire for like building a YouTube channel and everything at the start. It's like if someone gets into gym or improving their life for that reason, and they do, like if they get their dream body or they start making like 10K a month or whatever it is, and they completely change their life because of that desire, what the hell are you making fun of them for? They've changed their life, they've achieved what they wanted to achieve, right? It's a source of energy that you're just throwing away. And I think people should be using it. We should be using all the sources of energy we can to really like become the best versions of ourselves. I think that's definitely something people should not take lightly, and don't let people discourage you from doing it. Even the people that do make fun of people for doing that, they have their own insecurities about that, and they're just too afraid to admit it. But I think you should not be ashamed in using any source of energy you can to motivate yourself. I think they've said that they found, I don't know if it's studies or I don't know, I heard it somewhere. It was from a source that I trust. It was from Chris Williamson's podcast. But basically, all the most successful people in the world have two traits, right? They have they have a crippling insecurity about something, right? And then they have a superiority complex, right? So they're very insecure about something, and they feel the need to prove to sort of get over that insecurity, to compensate for that insecurity, and they also just feel like they should be better than everyone else. And those two things make for high-powered CEOs, billionaire businessmen, innovators and everything. But yeah, you make of that what you will. I think we should use every single source of energy we can to become the best versions of ourselves. Because, like I said, if it gets you there and you're there, happy days, right? And then the third one is, the frustrations of like being a young man, right? We know this from experience. I know the red pill talks about this a lot. Just in general, I think as men we know this. Like being a young man is it's very hard, right? Like taking something from the red pill that they do say is that like, oh, women are born like with their value and men have to like build their value. And women's in her prime at like 21 and the guy's in his prime at like 30, 35 if he works hard. And that's true. As much as I disagree with a lot of things with the red pill, that's true. I think we can all see that. And it's just things like wealth. Like wealth, just number one. I think we all know that money is really, really important. And just to reiterate how important it is, I remember Jordan Peterson said, like, of all the stats he studies, right? He has studied all the stats he has studied, all the research he's done. He has never seen a greater correlation between any two sets of statistics as he has between how much money a guy has and how much women he gets, basically. Like, that's crazy. And I think we all kind of know it, but I think it's important just to reiterate that. But yeah, something as simple as wealth, like that takes forever to build. You're not just getting that at 21, right? Like unless you're like Iman and you've been working since you were like 14 or 15, right? And you've just got the special talent, whatever, or you're like an athlete or whatever. For most of us, it takes time to build. That's really frustrating. And then things like just like your bone density, something as simple as that, your bone structure, right? Like getting that like proper, what would you call it? The proper like manly physique, the frame. That it doesn't maximize until you're like 30. Just something as simple as that, right? And they also just going through life, right? Like for me, I just said like I'm at the start. Like I'm 21, just moved to a new city, right? So I need to build my social life from scratch. If that's really frustrating, I need to be throwing myself in all these sorts of situations where I don't know anyone and build my social skills and meet people. And it's frustrating, to not just have that group, it's really frustrating to not just have that. I just got like my first car, like I'm doing car payments and stuff. It's been my first week, I've gotten used to it, but like the first couple of days were frustrating, like I'm stalling sometimes, just things like that. Being a newbie, it's so frustrating. At my job, I'm a first year trainee, right? I know that like people know that we don't know much and we get a lot of help, but it's still difficult, right? It's still difficult, like not knowing what you're doing. And that's what it's like in life, just being a young man in general. That's really frustrating. And that's a source of energy, right? That's a source of energy. Be like, I'm so tired of just being clueless, right? I want to get to a point where I know what I'm doing. And you use that frustration and you direct it towards being the best version of yourself. Now, I've written down here that like, you should write down your desires and experiences that provide a potential source of energy. So just write down as many as you can, right? And circle like the main ones. And then write the actions that you need to take to achieve the goals, right? To deal with those insecurities or to achieve those desires, right? And then write the reasons for why you want to achieve those things. And then once you have that, it's a 3-step plan, right? You've got your source of energy, right? You've got your you've got your source of energy / like your insecurity or desire. You've got the action you're going to take to achieve that, and then you've got your reason. So you've got your how, you've got your what, you've got your why, right? That's the three. You've got that. Now use that, right? Implement it to become the best version of yourself. Use it to become him, right? Like become him in the most fundamental sense of the definition. But you guys let me know what you think of that in the comment section below. And yeah, sorry for just like my sinuses and everything. I'm just sick, but gotta record the video. But make sure you hit subscribe to join the self-improvement brotherhood. Until next time, I'll see you boys.